The narcissist's painful regret when they lose you forever. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Narcissist Exposed channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest content. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that many of you have asked about, one that's both complex and incredibly emotional. The narcissist's painful regret when they lose you forever. Now, relationships with narcissists can be some of the most draining, confusing, and heartbreaking experiences one can go through. Narcissists have a way of drawing you in, making you feel special, and then, over time, chipping away at your self-esteem until you're left questioning your own worth. It's a roller coaster of emotions, with highs that feel euphoric and lows that feel utterly devastating. But what happens when you finally break free from their grasp? What goes on in the mind of a narcissist when they realize they'd lost you for good? Do they even feel regret? And if so, how deep does that regret really go? Let's get into it. When you first meet a narcissist, it's easy to get swept up in their charm. They know exactly what to say and do to make you feel like you're the most important person in the world. This is a tactic called love bombing, where they shower you with attention, affection, and grand gestures. It feels amazing, like you found your soulmate. But this phase doesn't last long. Slowly, the mask begins to slip, and the true nature of the narcissist starts to reveal itself. The compliments turn into criticisms, the affection becomes conditional, and the love that once felt so pure starts to feel like a manipulation tool. Over time, the narcissist's behavior becomes increasingly toxic. They gaslight you, making you doubt your reality. They manipulate situations to make themselves look like the victim. They might even isolate you from friends and family, ensuring that they're your only source of validation. It's a gradual process, and by the time you realize what's happening, you're often so deeply enmeshed in their web that leaving feels almost impossible. But one day, something changes. Maybe it's a small moment of clarity, a realization that you deserve better. Or perhaps it's a big event that finally opens your eyes to the toxicity of the relationship. Whatever it is, you decide to walk away. And when you do, it's like a fog lifts, and you start to see the relationship for what it truly was, a one-sided affair where your needs and feelings were secondary to the narcissist's ego. For the narcissist, this is a massive blow. Not because they love you or care about you in the way a healthy person would, but because losing you means losing their source of narcissistic supply. You were the person who validated them, who made them feel important, and who fed their ego. Without you, they're forced to confront a reality where they're not as perfect or as powerful as they'd like to believe. At first, they might not even realize what they've lost. Narcissists are incredibly skilled at rationalizing their actions and shifting blame onto others. They might convince themselves that you're the problem, that you're overreacting, or that you'll come crawling back to them. But as time goes on, and the reality of your absence sets in, they start to feel the weight of what they've done. Regret for a narcissist is different from the regret most people feel. It's not a deep, soul-searching remorse for the pain they've caused you. Instead, it's more about the inconvenience your absence brings to their life. They regret losing their control over you. They regret not having someone to prop up their fragile self-esteem. They regret losing the power they had over your emotions. But as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, the regret deepens. They start to miss the way you made them feel. Special, adored, invincible. They miss the way you looked at them, the way you praised them, and the way you put their needs above your own. They realize that finding someone else who will give them that same level of admiration isn't as easy as they thought. This is when the regret becomes painful. Narcissists aren't capable of true self-reflection or personal growth, but they do feel a sting of loss. They feel it in their ego, in their pride, and in the realization that they're not as irresistible as they once believed. They might try to reach out to you, using all the old tactics, apologies, promises of change, grand gestures, to lure you back in. But if you've truly moved on, if you've built up your self-worth and realized that you deserve so much more, then those attempts will fall flat. And that's when the narcissist feels the most profound regret. They regret underestimating you. They regret thinking that you'd always be there, waiting for them to come around. They regret pushing you away to the point of no return. But this regret isn't about love or loss in the way most people experience it. It's about their wounded pride and their inability to control the narrative. In their mind, you are supposed to be a constant in their life, a source of adoration that they could tap into whenever they needed a boost. Losing you means losing that certainty, that validation. It forces them to confront the fact that they're not as omnipotent as they believe. And that's a painful realization for anyone, but especially for a narcissist. Now, some people might feel a sense of satisfaction in knowing that the narcissist regrets losing them. It's natural to want validation after enduring so much emotional turmoil. But the truth is, their regret isn't the kind of regret that leads to change. Narcissists rarely, if ever, change. They might feel a sting of loss, but they're more likely to blame you or the circumstances than to take any real accountability for their actions. So, what should you do with this knowledge? The best thing you can do is to keep moving forward. The narcissist's regret is their burden to bear, not yours. Focus on your healing, on rebuilding your life, and on finding relationships that are based on mutual respect, love, and kindness. You deserve someone who sees your worth from the start, not someone who only realizes it when it's too late. It's also important to protect yourself from any future attempts by the narcissist to re-enter your life. They might try to guilt you, manipulate you, or play on your emotions to draw you back in. But remember, their regret isn't about you. It's about them. It's about their loss of control, their bruised ego, and their inability to find another source of validation as good as you. By staying strong and keeping your boundaries firm, you ensure that they can't hurt you again. And in doing so, you reclaim your power, the very thing they tried so hard to take from you. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of this amazing community. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might need to hear this message. And as always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you are worthy of love and respect, just as you are. What inspires a narcissist to re-evaluate you after the discard? Welcome to the wondrous world of the narcissist, an old-fashioned and archaic way of thinking that can have an antique ring, such as using a rotary dial phone, appear modern. Yet, finding value often arrives as a late guest at the party, right as the music stops playing and the hors d'oeuvres have been consumed. Imagine a heartbreaking story of a breakup, the strands of it with belittling words carefully woven into them, leading to the broken threads of your worth and leaving you hanging in their indifference. Shared moments, from once as bright as a spring garden, now turned into faded memories, from the over-the-top initial affection that had you feeling like a character in a Shakespearean play to the promises of grandeur that sounded so sweet, but led you into a maze of anticipation before you figured out that was the idea all along. And then their dismissive wave of the hand at you, bewildering, as Mona Lisa's smile. But hold on to your hats, readers, because here comes the twist. It is so baffling, it will challenge a Rubik's Cube. The narcissist who discarded you like a magician's trick starts reflecting. Yes, you read it right. The very person who made you feel devalued is now in a whirlpool, thinking of their own worthiness. There is no accident that this great spectacle of revaluation is a drama unfolding with the same necessity as a Shakespearean tragedy, only it does not involve kings and queens, but the ego-driven and the emotionally attuned. As the narcissist starts to survey the landscape of past valuations, your presence might look like a lighthouse in some foggy abyss, guiding that introspective ship toward the shores of contemplation. But alas, do not let your mind wander too far, for only a select few of history's connections get this opportunity to redeem themselves. No, dear empath, it is your distinctiveness that makes you center stage in this theatrically revisionist play. Now, before you peg me as a preacher of self-righteousness, let me explain myself. I'm not blowing the trumpet of arrogance right now. It's rather a quiet realization of the truth, often overridden by the noise in this world. That very act of care, kindness, and non-harm becomes such a rarity when mostly everyone uses their malice like a weapon or walks over empathy like it were some small, insignificant pebble in a sea full of people. It is a galaxy within the larger universe of human emotions, a galaxy you have the fortune to share, kind reader. So stand tall, not in the towering shadow of arrogance, but in the gentle glow of the extraordinary. Our inclination toward reciprocity is what distinguishes us. Imagine if both individuals in a relationship were like us, understanding and reciprocating each other's feelings. Sad to say, but sometimes it is really about getting caught up with toxic personalities. This is what our claim, that we are a notch higher than the others, is all about. Not to boast of arrogance, but simply because a big percentage of the world seems to be infested with toxic tendencies, narcissism, psychopathy, and being apathetic towards other beings. Most of us do not belong in that bunch of negativity. Most of us do not do bad things or promote them. Hence this group makes us special. If you are an empath, then you shall probably wish to enhance the set of empathetic skills. These usually develop on their own naturally following the discard and the awakening that follows it. You learn that, in your healing, you are naturally furthering the development process of your very own empathy. And as you come to grip with the loss of this relationship and further deal with your healing, the narcissist may well be at the very fringes looking on in helplessness. For inside their heads, they start to reconsider you against the new partner. Gradually, it dawns on them that you are unique and remember the beginning of your relationship. This inward reflection could make them wonder about themselves and how they have found themselves in the situation. It is a challenging process, especially when one views their actual nature of being able to appreciate only when it is no longer available. They do not actually reflect, but they will start to think. Soon, they get to find out that they have stepped wrongly in the chessboard, for everything to them is just a game. They realize their mistake, but not always easy to find their way back, particularly when we are on our healing path and we move away. They start to re-evaluate you from a distance. Checking your social media accounts becomes an obsession. Even if you have blocked them, they have all kinds of accounts to reach you. Careful now, because this behavior has become an obsession. They monitor you like a friend who is checking up on your life and picturing being together again. This fantasy is impossible if you close the door so hard. If the door is cracked, they may postpone their re-evaluation of you, believing they can come back anytime. This is why it's so important to enforce no contact at all. Should you need to communicate, do so with something negative, and then proceed to withhold positive attention. Everyone closes off a little bit when you say those last few words in the last few days. The narcissists do re-evaluate you. You are someone they want, but they can never hold on to a figment of their imagination. Not to be with them, you must be strong and firm by making an impenetrable boundary. You block their way. This increases their hunger for you. In their eyes, you become a legend, someone unique to them. You become one of those they remember and can't find another. This sounds so impossible, but stories of Hoover attempts to reconnect even years later are shared in comments. It is because our energy is truly exceptional. As an empath, as a special individual, our energy shines like no other. They cannot source it from anywhere else, and so they create an ideal of you in their mind. You become the obsession that they track on social media. Let's take my own experience with the narcissist in my life. They've tried to reach out through fake profiles, actually. That's how desperate they are. As I also said in my video, they want just a shadow of a connection because of the effect you've had on them. It doesn't matter whether it's a fake profile or an anonymous call. Your voice alone is enough for them. It drives them to the point that brings about satisfaction. And remember why? You're a rare breed in this world. That makes them reconsider their perception of you. And it is invaluable when going through recovery and on the way to self-improvement after a breakup. Something that I'm going through and many others. You will have healed the pain and the addiction that had you tied down. Focus on yourself and new experiences, even in different countries like I did. These boost your self-esteem. They'll keep watching you live your life on social media, dating sites, everywhere. How will you thrive since the last time they were with you? This is a serious blow to their ego, a deep injury to their narcissism. You are now not only as good as the last time they saw you, you are actually better, and they are still the same, adjusting who they are depending on who they're with. You're becoming more genuine. They lack their own identity. They're socially canny. Remember, the reason for their renewed fixation or revaluation after discarding you is rooted in your true value. If you've noticed their recent silence, it's because they're preoccupied with their thoughts. But you have a more important task. Continue focusing on your self-worth. Educate yourself not only about narcissistic behavior, but also about other related subjects. In that way, you invest in your growth. I myself studied on how to deal with a narcissist and read many things, but it didn't give me the answers I was seeking for since sources showed them as these untouchable entities. So, I decided to share my insights in a new video. I wanted to make you understand the matter, particularly because I had faced a spiritual narcissist, someone who pretended to be godly but was far from being so. After a number of attempts by them to reach out to me, I actually noticed a big regret in them. You may be receiving the same thing, such as late-night phone calls. These might be attempts to contact you while they are with their new source. My suggestion is that you block them, even change your number if possible. The best way to treat a narcissistic injury is to cut the ties. I made a video on how to silence and torment narcissists. Remember, you have value in the eyes of God or of the universe. You are different. Your energies can never be the same. This channel is not for everyone. It is for one more empathetic, for one greater in connecting with others. We at times inadvertently imitate the narcissist's behavior, and accordingly, they throw us away. Our power of connecting on a deep level scares them. To understand the core of a narcissist is to reveal their low self-esteem under the mask of superiority. Now, that is not to laugh at low self-esteem. Many have it. A narcissist behaves in ways that feel superior, but after discard, they realize who they lost. The discard is necessary and painful, but it puts the narcissist into a position to wake up. They will only begin to admire and appreciate you once they lose you. This also happens if you are the one who ended the relationship. Initially, they may feel free, but later on, They see the loss and begin to appreciate you. Always remember that you are unique. Know and appreciate who you are. Count yourself many blessings from God. I promise you, the good things you poured into your relationship with your narcissist will eventually be returned to you in ways you'd never expect. I have seen this happen in my own life. For years, I thought for sure the love I'd wasted on the narcissist was lost forever, only to have it come back to me as other types of blessings in ways I never saw coming. Not just romantically, but in many areas of my life. Now I'm very guarded about whom I let into my life. I learned from a few regrettable mistakes, and I'm advising you to not make that same mistake out of loneliness. Loneliness will finally catch up with even the best of us. As you go along this journey of healing, maybe consider turning that energy into something productive. Focus your sexual energy on things like fitness, business, or a hobby. This energy is so strong it can make good things happen. The narcissist will be gobsmacked at how much you changed while they were trying to fix you. You are growing into someone they did not believe you could be. Use that energy to become something no one can hurt. We used to settle for the narcissist, but now we have to be different. Settling after the narcissist is even worse for us. Remember, healing isn't linear. It's full of ups and downs. We're abuse survivors. Those memories persist, but it's not our fault. We weren't naive. Our real love threatens the narcissist. They discard us believing that they know us, yet they are unprepared for our resilient comeback. In a breakup, if you stop contacting them, something changes. How they see you shifts. It took weeks. We recover and bounce back much stronger, just like an elastic. We convert our bad experiences into strengths that shape us. We move on, leaving them behind, and we're tougher than before. It's natural to miss someone you have lost, but when others are compared to you, you're unmatched. No matter how hard they look, they won't find someone like you again. And you might say, what if they find another empath? Well, truth be told, they didn't appreciate the fact that an empath was right there in the first place. They were still stuck on their old ways, playing games and creating drama where it wasn't needed. However, time has a way of showing the truth. Many a time, people come to realize our value after the relationship is over. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, as you focus on self-improvement spiritually, physically, and mentally, they'll begin to reevaluate. This process may just about shatter them, seeing you emerge stronger and thriving after the breakup. Keep walking. It's a matter of faith in the design. Know that separations are often divine interventions. They freed us from the torture of a narcissist. Don't worry, it's never too late. There are stories of people finding happiness and true connections even later in life. Think of this time not as wasted, but as a correction of mindset. We gain clarity and a better understanding of certain convoluted dynamics, especially with respect to a narcissist. Yes, they may want you back, but do not give them another chance. Thanks for watching. If you would like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. When you get this right, narcissists finally leave you alone.